Edgbaston, day one of the Ashes, 5-over from England, a surprise late declaration, a century from Joe Root. Matt, I'll ask you, has that put England on top? But let's just start with the first ball of the day. It wasn't quite the Gabba in 2021, was it?
Yeah, well, I think we knew that this was going to be a slightly different looking Ashes series, a different feeling Ashes series to most that we've seen before coming into today. But if we needed any kind of confirmation of that, then I think Zach Crawley drilling the first ball of the day through cover point off Pat Cummins for 4 probably served as that confirmation. I think it set the tone for a pretty extraordinary, breathless day of Test cricket, really, which is, I think England declaring after 78 overs on day one. We've got pretty long odds on that, even given the decisions that we've seen over the past 12 months from them. And I think, if you look at sort of the moments that stand out from the day, and Root's 100 in particular, a couple of reverse scoops over the slip corner for 6 probably fits the same sort of mould as Crawley's first ball for 4. Obviously a hugely significant innings for Root as well, from a personal point of view. I mean, he's been in very good form over the last 12 months since giving up the captaincy, but I think it's been a point of slight frustration for him that during his tenure as captain, his record in the Ashes probably wasn't quite where it should have been. It wasn't like he wasn't scoring 50s, but when he was scoring half centuries, he wasn't converting them. This was his first Ashes 100 since, I think, August 2015, so that's 8 years ago. And also, I think the first time he did a 6 in an Ashes inning since then, which probably tells you a little bit about what's been going on for him in that period since. So I think, a hugely significant innings for him. Really underpinned what turned out to be, I think, a solid day from England's point of view. I don't think they dominated Australia by any means, even though they scored at 5 runs and over, because I think this is a really good pitch. But it was a fascinating, entertaining day of sort of all fun, all thrills cricket, and hugely looking forward to seeing how Australia respond to it tomorrow.
Well, it was Australia's first meeting with this new England. Josh Hazlewood in the press conference just now has called it a new Ashes in a sense, and what they're having to respond to. And I think we're almost going to need more evidence, I think, to judge how Australia went about it today. The talking point really is their tactics in the field. Matt touched on there that Pat Cummins having a deep point out first ball of the match. Nathan Lyon was on in the 10th over, had 4 scouts out on the rope. It never felt Australia had real control over the scoreboard, but they were happy to cut down, or in their view, cut down the boundaries. It shows the world that we're living in with England's cricket now that they're happy with 5 and over. They were panicking if it was going to get up to 7s and 8s. So overall, Australia actually finished today feeling like they had a pretty good day. 8 wickets. They got through the tricky 4 overs. Of course, that sets up Stuart Broad versus David Warner beautifully for day 2. A plus mark for Australia today was the return of Josh Hazlewood. He looked the pick of their quick bowlers, having won the selection race with Mitchell Starc for that final spot. But it was interesting to see how hard England went against Scott Boland, and that was one of the talking points coming into the match. And also Nathan Lyon, something that Matt picked up on ahead of the game. Nathan Lyon picked up 4 wickets, but he went for a bag load of runs as well, and that does feel like it's going to be a theme of the series. So I don't think we could really have asked for much more from the opening day of this Ashes series, and we are going to need to see how the next couple of days plays out. There isn't a lot of pace in this pitch. It does feel like one of those that someone like a Marnus Labuschagne or Stephen Smith could book in for bed, breakfast and evening meal over the next 2 days. So we need to wait and judge England's score, I think, when we've seen how long Australia can bat. But it promised much this first day. It's delivered, and it'll be fascinating to see how the next few days play out here at Edgbaston.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube, and for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for premium content plus live streaming, make sure to subscribe to ESPN Player.